Okay, I am live. Hello and welcome to another episode of, I was going to say my old show name, which is Book Journey Mentor Uncut No More, Between the Covers. Today I have a question for you. Happiness. What is happiness? And what does happiness mean to you? So what makes you happy and what does happiness mean to you? So if you're watching for the first time, hey Random Jan, my name is Daniela Bleckner. I am an author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing. Work with authors from all over the world to help them to publish their amazing, powerful messages and stories in the form of professional books. I set this up about 5.5 to 6 years ago now, and over that period of time we have published over 110 books. I'm absolutely passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about providing a platform for unseen, unheard authors, for them to have their voices heard and stories shared in spaces where they may not otherwise, so they can educate, inspire, entertain and empower for generations to come. What I absolutely love about books is, you know, this is one of the books of my lovely guest I'll be speaking to today, My Life, My Legacy. Writing and publishing a book is a legacy. It exists way beyond you. Your voice is a way to preserve your voice and your story and your message. It transcends your short lifetime. I mean, life is short. Books last forever. And if you are new to the show, I've got a lovely message here. Happiness is all about emotionally, spiritually aligned to no matter what. Lovely. I love that. So as you're coming into the broadcast, please do tap the screen, share this out, say hello. Hey Rachel, let us know where you're watching from and tell us, what does happiness mean to you and what makes you happy, or what creates happiness within for you? I'd love to hear. So if you're new to the show, this show is really about offering a platform for authors, not just authors that we publish. A few weeks ago, we spoke to a lovely lady who self-published her own book. We speak to authors who maybe go the traditional route. So not just Conscious Dreams Publishing authors, all authors from all walks of life, and also give you a glimpse behind the scenes of what it actually takes to write and create a book. Hey, Vanda, so many people see the finished product, but you just don't have the idea of, you know, what goes into creating that book. The writing, hey Scott Owens, the writing, the editing, the typesetting, the artwork, the distribution, the promotion. So this really gives you an inside window into that. It's also an opportunity for you to hear from experts in the industry. So last week I spoke to the lovely Jessica Donrod, who is an author, translator, and the first Black Welsh woman to children's book, to write a children's book and to set up her own translation company. So it really just gives you an insight into the whole process. So without any further ado, my awesome and amazing guest is Nadia Wong. She is actually living in Italy right now. She is actually working with us, publishing her third book with us. Her first book is Your Life, Your Legacy. Look at that beautiful cover, followed by the workbook, which is My Life, My Legacy. And she is going to be releasing her new book. The proof copy is not yet through today. I was hoping it was going to come through today. It's called The Key to a Happier Me. So I'm going to attempt to bring Nadia on to Instagram and onto StreamYard, which takes us to all platforms at the same time, multi-platformed. It's not easy, people. So you can meet her yourself. And again, this is a very interactive show. So if you have any comments, if you have any questions for Nadia, please do throw them up as well. Nadia, if you just go onto Instagram, you'll be able to see my invite there. If you can see me live, I'll invite you into that. I'm also going to invite you into the studio. And bear with us because this tech is a new thing for some of us. Hey, Lila, nice to see you. Loved the dancing yesterday. Okay, so hello. Hey, so I'm just bringing you into Instagram.
Let me just see here. Request to join. It just says request to join.
Bear with me.
Sorry. Tech isn't my thing.
It's all right.
Let me just see. It just says send a request to join.
Don't worry, I'll find you. There you go, I've invited you. if you can pop in. Hey, Artie. Hello, Rosemary. Rosemary's watching live on Instagram. She's also one of our authors as well. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, hello. And if you're just tuning in, my name is Daniela Bleckner, author, book journey mentor, founder of a company called Conscious Dreams Publishing, interviewing the awesome and amazing Nadia Wong, who is a happiness coach. We're going to find out all about that. A 4-time author. She's publishing her 3rd book with us, called The Key to a Happier Me. I'm just getting her into Instagram right now. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. I'm going to try and get you in again, Nadia.
It's not coming through, so sorry. I can see you on Instagram, but I can't.
I've invited you, so I don't think it's going to allow me to invite you again on Insta. Can you
request to join? I can request to join.
Yes, please do that. We didn't practice this yesterday, people. But
it was much easier yesterday.
There you go. She's coming in. Request to join. I've got it. Accept.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Okay, awesome. If you're watching as well, please do let us know if the sound is okay. Hopefully it is. If it is, just give us a 1 or a thumbs up and we're good to go. We're here. We're live. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So welcome. How are you doing today, Nadia?
I'm nervous.
Nervous. You'll be absolutely fine. Look at all the love you're getting already. Okay, perfect. The sound is great. So I'm going to crack straight in. Thank you so much, Scott. I'm going to crack straight in. So you call yourself a happiness coach. What is a happiness coach? How do you define that? What do you do?
Well, okay, I am a certified life coach, but I realized as I was going through there, I'm not working as a life coach. I'm working as a happiness coach, because generally life coaches work from where we are now. We find a goal to work towards and work towards that. But what I do is I take from where we are now and I take the life. So I don't coach the life outside of us or outside of you. I coach the life within you.
I love
to help
that.
you to understand who you are and to find, because I think once we know who we are, we can then know the path forward. Instead of sort of chasing goals that could be somebody else's goals or conditioning, what we think we want, but I go right into the soul and coach a soul coach really, and a happiness coach.
I love that. I love the happiness and soul coach. And you said something really important there, which is about, you life coach from within rather than sort of externally and without. And that links to a lot of my beliefs around happiness. So what is happiness to you? Is it something that is outside of ourselves, or is it something that's within? How would you define happiness?
Well, I would say it's definitely an inner peace. It's an inner peace and contentment within ourselves. And people say things like happiness is fleeting, or they get quite annoyed when, with me being a happiness coach, because it just doesn't exist, happiness. But it's about, because I do get that quite a lot. People just say, oh, happiness coach. But I think it's about being in alignment with yourself. It's connecting your mind, body, and soul and feeling complete. But we don't know how to do that because we've never been taught. So this is why I think my mission to help people to find their happiness, because we're all born joy, bundles of joy, and it's just a matter of us tapping into that. And so this is what I want to do. So that to me is happiness, is being connected, being whole and content within ourselves.
I love that. So it's about being contented and sort of reconnecting to that happiness that we already have within. Yeah. And somebody else said there, I think Jan said, it's about, being in alignment with your self emotionally, spiritually, and in all ways, physically, mentally. So I think it's really important that you're doing, because I observe and I see a lot of people reaching outside of themselves for something that's already inside. So I see.
Absolutely, because they do get there. Because you're reaching and you're striving, and so that kind of fuels you. But then you get what you want, and that is fleeting, because once you have it, it's all of a sudden, you're fine for a couple of weeks, a month, or whatever, and then suddenly all that emptiness starts to fill in, and you realise that you're not connected at all, and so you have to start that whole journey again.
I really want to talk about your book, but I actually have another question about you as a happiness coach. So if someone was to come and have a discovery call with you or work with you, what could they expect, and what do you offer?
Well, I'm currently what I've been working is working through my books, because all my books are coaching books. What I discovered is when I first started coaching is that I wasn't keen on asking people for money to help them to be at peace. So I just thought I felt I wasn't ready to just put my coaching services out there. So I thought I'm going to write. So what I did was I made everything within books so that it was accessible to everybody, even without resources. Because when I was in a dark time in my own life, I didn't have the resources to hire a happiness coach or a life coach. So I wanted to make sure that I had everybody covered, sort of thing, and then I could go forward with the coaching business. So I actually coach people through my books. That's just the way I work now, and write courses, based around my books.
So there's a lot more to come. And obviously I've read all three. I've read all books, so I know how much value there is within those, and there's so much you can do with those. Just reading the book alone, you offer a lot, very unselfishly. So the key to a happier me, what inspired you to write that? And why is this important to you?
Okay, well, I had this moment, when you have those moments, and I just felt I was full of joy, and I just thought, I have to share this. I can't hold it in. It would be selfish of me to share it. And it'd be like me sitting at a huge feast full of beautiful food, a buffet, and hungry people around me. And I just thought, I can't enjoy this. I really need to share it. So what I did, I set about writing a course for my Facebook family, sort of thing. And I did a 5-day course just to kind of touch on some of the main areas where I sort of brought myself to my own level of joy. And so I ran this course, and it was just the breakthroughs, just with I had about 20 or 30 people on there, and the breakthroughs were incredible. And I just thought, I've got to write a book about this. And I was actually in the middle of writing another book. And I thought, I'll just finish this book and then I'll start on this happiness book. But it just wouldn't, you'll read about it in the book, but everything was just pulling me to write this book. So I had to drop everything and just write. And it just came through me. I didn't think about it. The most joyful time of my life was writing the book.
Beautiful. I love that when it kind of just comes through you, and sometimes you be back over and you think, did I write that? I don't remember writing that.
It's quite scary because I've read it over and I think, I can't remember even writing that, and some of the words, and it was just phenomenal. It was a beautiful experience. I felt it was a divine coming through me. So you've also got another story about the key. I'm going to show, I learned how to screen share just yesterday when I was doing a little practice with Nadia. So I'm going to give it a go again because I'm quite excited about this. If it goes wrong, please forgive me. But I really want you to see the cover. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm doing it. If you're on Facebook, can you let me know if you can see this, or if it's just me looking at it going, if you can, that's great. This is Nadia's cover, The Key to a Happier Me. It's just absolutely beautiful. Tell us, if I stop sharing, I'm going to keep it up because I think it deserves to be there a little bit longer. If you're on Instagram, I'm so sorry. I will describe it to you. Oh, I can't find it now. All right, Let's see if I've got a picture. I can maybe hold it up to see.
If you've got a picture, even better.
Picture, let me just see. For Instagram anyway, just so they can see. Oh gosh, it's right here. Instagram can see.
Oh, there you go. Oh, beautiful.
So that's the key to
my
Yeah.
So tell us about the story behind. Oh, the screen share's working. Thank you, Layla. Love you, Layla. So tell us a bit about the key, the story behind it.
So I was already writing the book, and I didn't have a name for it, which is unusual for me, because in the past I've usually had the name quite, in my head beforehand. But this, I didn't have an idea what to call it. But I thought, I'm just going to keep writing. And then one day when I was thinking, because it was something I was thinking about a lot, I reached into my bag, into the pocket where my keys normally are, to get my keys, and I reached in and I came out with that key. In fact, I've got it here.
You've got the actual key?
Yeah, I've actually got the key. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me a second. Here we are. Oops, I've lost you. Yeah. This is the key. Can you see? Oh.
No. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, wow. Doesn't it look like the cover?
Yeah, it's the key. And and I reached in and I found it. I mean, it's such an antique looking key. Oops, I've lost you.
I'm here.
Oh, hang on, let me just find you again. So it's such an antique looking key that I just thought, where on earth? And I don't know where it came from. I just didn't know where it came from. It just turned up in the pocket of my bag. And I just thought, that's it. This book has to be called The Key. And I Googled it and there was already a book called The Key. So I thought, oh no, it's not going to be that. And there was just in this I actually tell the story in the book about how keys kept coming into my existence, into my life experience, until I'd come up with the name, and it ended up as the key to a happier me, and everything just fell into place. It was just, but for me, I still have no idea how that key got into my bag. I mean, look, it's not like just any old key.
It's a very, very prominent key there, and it's a very special key, I can see.
Right.
Antique as well. I love how, there you go, I love how life gives us little synchronicities and signs, and we keep getting them until we actually understand what they mean and utilize them.
That's right, yeah. Mm.
I'm so glad that it inspired you to create that cover, because that cover is absolutely beautiful. If you're watching on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, or on YouTube, let us know what you think of the cover. I'm going to share it again. Nadia, if you can throw it up again, that would be amazing. Oh dear, that's not what I want to do. Sorry. Maybe I'm not able to share it. There you go. You can see Nadia's.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, what can readers expect to get from reading your book, and what would you say your core message is? Your key message?
Well, there's 10 doors that you go through, and each door you go through will bring more light into your heart and soul. And this is what it's the base of. And what it is I go through my own life experiences through each door, and then open you up to your own, to help you to really be aware of the way you think, the way you're looking at life, and your own behavior, and how we are it's not saying we're attracting so much, but our energy. It's about the energy we put out, and we have to really take note of that, because a lot of the time our energy's off, it's offline, is not in sync with who we are, and so we are attracting that negativity to us through our own thoughts and our own words and our own behaviors without really being aware of it. So it's quite deep. Sometimes you go through it and think, oh, I don't know if I want to go there, but it's actually so worth it, because once you do, you break through and you'll see that you have far more power over your life than you thought you had. And so, as I said, it's a coaching book. So I ask questions, because I can only tell you my life experience, and I can't make anybody happy. I can only tell you what makes me happy. And I ask questions. That for me is the main, through all my books, it's the question. Yeah. And it's not my words that will open you up. It's yours. It's yours.
I was going to say that actually, that I have noticed that your style is very much question based, and I love questions because it gets you to think deeper, and every question raises another question and another question, and helps you to go deeper within yourself, which I think allows the person reading the book or working with you to actually be more empowered, because they're not being told what to do, they're being invited to explore about themselves. And that's what I love. That's what I love.
Because I believe that if we really knew who we were, then we would love who we were. We would love who we are, but most of us go through life not really loving ourselves, because we don't know who we are. And we think we go through life, and people put these, and we put them on ourselves, labels. So it's about peeling back all those labels and all those layers and discovering who we are. So this book is a real in-depth look into who you really are. But once you go deep and you allow yourself to go deep, you will see the truth and beauty of who you are. And I can guarantee it. I mean, I've sent this to quite a few people. So, and everybody that's read it, or even just a portion of it, have had breakthroughs. So for me, it's a really powerful book, and I am excited about it.
I mean, you've got really two powerful reviews on the back as well from people who have worked with you and read the book. So you've got some lovely comments here. Janessa says, gorgeous cover. Scott says, love the cover and story behind the title. Vanda's saying, beautiful cover. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Nadia, please do throw them up, because I have questions all day, every day. That's what I do. I ask questions about everything and anything all the time. So you should have seen me as a kid. So you were talking about sort of, happiness and having a breakthrough, and I'm just interested to know a bit about you, and what was that defining moment for you that helped you first realize the importance of loving oneself, yourself, but also what allowed you to really embrace that happiness within and to love yourself? What was that pivotal moment? Was there a pivotal moment?
Well, I actually had, since I was like little, I've always been a striver. I've always been sort of chasing my goals. And when I was in my 20s, I had a near-death experience. I lived with chronic asthma, and two or three times I felt myself slipping away. But there's one particular occasion where I felt the light. It wasn't, when you imagine you see the light, there's light away from you. It's about the light within. And I felt myself surrounded, and there was such a beautiful peace. So I've always kind of made the most of my life and made the most of every single day, because I knew that I had been given a second chance. I turned my health around, changed my lifestyle, cleaned up my diet. So that was when I was in my 20s. In my 30s, I lost my mum suddenly, and I went through on a really deep spiritual journey. And then in my 40s, which I found was really tough for me, was I hit depression. So at 45, and I didn't think I would. I got to the point in my life where I thought I just couldn't wait for my life to end. It was like I wanted to fast forward it. And I couldn't see a way forward. I was like, well, what am I going to do the rest of my life? I just thought I can't start again. I'm not clever enough. I'm not, in tune with everything. I'd kind of closed myself off into my mummy bubble with my kids, and I'd shut myself off to the world. And so I could actually see myself sort of crying into my dinner one day, and thought, this has got to change. And so I went back through all my spiritual journey and through my, lifestyle changes. And I went into all the self-development I did years and years ago, and I reconnected with everything. And so that was my journey. But once I broke through, when I woke up that morning and decided I'm going to run that course, I just thought, I've got to share what I've learned, because I did it myself. I didn't have any help. And so it was about taking that moment and saying, I want to live. I'm going to live, and having to share that with people, because it's just who I am. But do you know what, Danielle, if I hadn't suffered depression, if I hadn't felt that bad, I wouldn't have the empathy that I have for people, and I wouldn't have this desire. I cannot not help people. If people don't want my help, that's fine, but I can't keep this information, knowledge, and love to myself. It just pours out of me, and I can't hold it in.
And this is why I love working with Nadia, people. I really am a believer that, and I do agree with a lot of what you say. A lot of people that I, including myself, the people that I know who have gone through traumatic things or experienced trauma or experienced really difficult, challenging things, you have two choices, really, isn't it? You give up, or you just keep going, and then you use what you've learned to help others and to give others that platform. And I take my hat off to everything you've done. Like I say, you give so selflessly in your books, and you spoke of your mother as well, and you speak of your mother in all three of your books. And I do want to touch on the other two books that Nadia's written. So there's Your Life, Your Legacy, and there is also I don't want to call it a workbook, because look how thick it is. It's called My Life, My Legacy. And each page has a question, and it invites you to consider the question. So this one is, how do you want to be perceived by others, and why? There's 101 questions, isn't there?
Yeah.
Here we go. Question 18. How did your father influence your life for the better? And I just flicked to that by chance, and I was just thinking about that. And the reason actually I wanted to talk about these books was because my own father passed away in October. Actually, it was only a few weeks after you published your book, completely out of the blue. And I have found actually that this book has really helped. I kind of dip in and out and do little bits, but it's just a great way to record who you are as a person, but also to preserve your family, the influence that your family has had, and gets you to really delve quite deep and think about your life as a whole and what you want to pass on to other generations, I think. So yeah, thank you. This is just a personal thing for me. Thank you very much for that book. So tell us a little bit about your life, your legacy, and my life, my legacy, and what does legacy mean to you?
Okay, for me, legacy is just because I lost my mum suddenly, like your dad. My mum was here, healthy and strong 1 minute and gone the next. And it took me 4 years to just accept that she was gone. It wouldn't, and suddenly I just thought, and I thought I was quite, sort of spiritual, but I just realized that I just had nothing. Like it just wipes you out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And totally. I just thought not that I'm morbid, but my mum used to talk about death all the time, and I'm quite focused on, my books are kind of focused on life and death and making the most of life. But the legacy book is about, I thought, if I die suddenly, what will my children have of me? Will they really know me? Because Mum and I had this sort of tumultuous relationship when I was young, because I was a bit difficult. I was a highly sensitive child. My mum couldn't handle me.
Yeah, get it.
And
yeah.
I was a middle child.
You were so difficult then, weren't you? I'm glad you didn't.
And so, I was just difficult to handle in that sense. Mum didn't know how to handle me. So we had this, tension between us. So by the time I'd got to my sort of 30s, we were really close. We were opening up and speaking to each other. But then she was taken from me. I get emotional when I talk about this. She was just taken from me, and I just was so angry. I was actually angry with her for a long time, because I thought, how dare you leave me, But I just thought, if I suddenly just disappear from my children's lives, I want them to know me. I want them to know what's in my heart. I want them to know what's made me the person that I am today. And that's why I thought, I'm going to write this. So I actually started that book as a program, and I just basically wrote down 101 questions, and I answered them for my children. And I just thought, I've got to turn this into a book for other people. And so the book, Your Life, Your Legacy, is a list of the questions, but it kind of goes through my own life stories just to open you up to yours. Because at times, like if you're talking about, for example, a trip to Vegas, you'll say, oh, I went to Vegas. So it's about just kind of like sparking those memories, but always focusing on the beautiful side, because there's good and bad and everything, isn't there? But we tend to focus, remember all the horrible things people have ever said to us, but the beautiful things we tend to just brush off and say,
Take for granted.
So it's about really focusing on the joys and the gratitude in the difficult times, and just finding those moments of joy in our childhood, and letting go and peeling back again in a different way in the legacy, but peeling back those layers and looking in and seeing how beautiful we are and how beautiful our lives have been. And even if our parents were not perfect parents, they were probably doing the best they could with the knowledge they had. And I don't really think it's about forgiving for me with my mum, and the difficult time we had. It was more about accepting and understanding what she was going through, as opposed to sort of forgiving her for being bad or not treating me the way I wanted to be treated. But it wasn't. She was doing what she thought was right. And now as a mother to teens, I feel like I miss her even more now, because I want to go back and say, I'm sorry. I want to go back and say, I do love you and I do appreciate you. But I know that she knows.
Yeah. I mean, and you said it beautifully through the books. Beautifully. I'm going to go to some comments. I've got some lovely comments there. Janessa says, wonderful testimony. Maureen says, very thought-provoking, helping to find yourself. You got a lovely smile there from Herman. Hello, Herman, long time. And then someone on Instagram says she loves the colour of the book, very calming, and love the design of the key. Love it. Okay, fantastic. We are going to, just yesterday, we spoke about having an online book launch. I'd absolutely love for Nadia to come from Italy to the UK, to London, which will be happening at some point, but when things are a little bit more, there's a little bit more clarity on what's going on, we will do that. But for now, we have an online book launch, and Nadia will be proud of me, hopefully. 15 minutes before the show, I created a link. So I put the link in the comments there. I don't think it's going to appear on Instagram, but I'll add it onto Instagram at some point when I figure out how to do that. Please do book. Tickets are free. Why would you not want to come? It's on Thursday, the best evening for book launches, I say. Thursday, the 16th of September, 7 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. You'll be hearing from Nadia. She'll be reading parts from her book. There'll be a little Q&A, and of course you can get involved and ask your questions. And there'll also be a competition as well. So please do book the tickets. If you can multitask, do it now and listen at the same time, or do it when you finish watching the broadcast. So let's talk a little bit then about sort of the writing and publishing process. How did you find the writing process for you? I mean, you say it kind of just flowed through you. Was that the same with all 3 books? Did you have any writing? I mean, I know the answer to this, but did you have any writing experience per se, or was it something that just came?
Okay. Well, I don't know if many of you know this, but I actually didn't really read a book until I was like 20. I wasn't a book lover.
We would not have been friends.
But the thing is, my parents were both foreign. My dad Chinese, mum was Italian, and so they didn't have books in their language. I don't even know actually the level of their reading either, because they grew up during World War II, and you know, it would have been limited for them anyway, their schooling. So they didn't, I mean, they read in English, but to sort of involve us in books, it just seemed quite a lot. So, you know, so school, we just weren't interested in books. Like, so we had a couple of books, but it wasn't like we grew up reading books. It wasn't my thing. In fact, I was terrible at English. I scraped by, and I just always believed that I couldn't write. I always thought, I'm a numbers person. I'm good with numbers. I'm terrible with words. But when I was about 20, I realized I had this book in me. You know, I didn't want to write a book. It wasn't about wanting. I just always knew something within me knew that I would write a book one day. I didn't realize I'd write 4, but I just thought there's a book in me. And actually, I found a book the other day. It was like a notebook about a month ago, and it's full of it's just me writing, but I only used to get so far. So this is from about 20 years ago, and I tried to write a book, and then so when I started writing, it just came, and it's more of me speaking to people. It's a heart to heart. That's where I think maybe books are different. I don't teach. I just really have a heart to heart, and the feedback that I've had from my book so far is that people feel that I'm with them there, and that is my goal, to get inside your heart and to just give you a hug, and you know, within those pages, and to know that you're loved, and that's what I feel to do, and that's what I think I'm doing in my book.
You definitely do that in your book. Like I say, not everyone can write. I work with coaches. I work with all different sorts of people. I write with people who love literature, and that's what they'd love to do. They love to write. They're building a career as a writer and using this as a stepping stone to, maybe get traditionally published and really become a, I can never say it, an award-winning author. Other people are life coaches who don't want to write, really don't want anything to do it, but they want to get their message out. Some people just are naturally able to write, and I think for you, your authentic voice comes in. It is like you are speaking with us, and there's so much, you can feel the love and you can feel the beauty in the writing. And I'm someone who loves words, and I love writing, so I don't say that lightly. I'm not just saying it.
Thank you. For me, it's just a joy. I found my passion. I had years and years of not really knowing what I was born for, but I know when I write, that's when I'm just at my happiest.
There you go. And here we go. What's this? This is really insightful. Keep vibing on. Okay, thank you all. Oh, Nadia, you're frozen. Oh, you're back. So let's talk about the publishing process. Obviously, you wrote your first book with us, which was Your Life, Your Legacy, in October last year. You're on your 3rd book with us now, and we're within the year, so we're in August now. So what did you sort of expect from the publishing process, and how would you sort of describe your experience for others who are thinking about publishing a book?
Well, obviously, for me, writing the book was the easy part. It was just easy, and then it was just like, well, what do I do now? What do I do now with this? And somebody, you were in one of my groups, one of these Facebook groups, and I thought, I'm going to just write to you, and I just felt the way you were speaking, and I just thought, I can connect with Danielle, and I thought, I'm going to just write to you, just see what you can do. But when I met Daniela, when I, came online, met you online, I just realised that we could definitely do this together. But since I signed the first book and the second, it's like I can hand my baby over to Daniela and she's just going to take care of it, because it's made this book process an absolute joy. Because as much as I love to write, I don't really love all the other stuff, and I think, people could struggle their way through that. But I because of the way I outlook on life, I just always follow the joy. And working with Conscious Dream Publishing has been an absolute joy. I feel like I can just be myself. I can ask stupid questions. And
no such thing as a stupid question.
and not feel like I'm not good enough, because I love the way you just take my hand and just lead me through, and just always there. And I've had other experiences with publishers that really put me off and thought, I don't know if I really want to keep doing this, but it's just been an absolute joy working with you. I can't really express. I get quite emotional when I talk about Daniela, and how, if anybody's thinking about having a book published or writing a book, just empty your heart onto paper, and Daniela will take care of the rest of it. Her team, and just the way she just organizes everything and helps me through. I don't have to worry about anything, and it's just like a stress-free, joyful experience that I just love, and I'm really, really grateful for that. Because if I hadn't had you, I think I probably would have stopped at one book, and I would be able to really put my love and my joy into my books, because I'd be thinking about the other processes that I just don't, which are a headache for me. So working with you has been an absolute joy, and I'm grateful that I can, that I can put this work out into the world because of you. So thank you so much.
Oh, a bit emotional. Thank you. That means a lot. I'm really, really happy that you had this experience, and we do love working with you, Nadia. And we hope to work on many more projects together. It's all, like you say, I think it's resonance, isn't it? Like attracts like.
Absolutely.
But thank you. That means a lot to hear that you've had a great experience. And I think that's the important thing of having the ease taken off throughout the process. Because
stress it kills us, isn't it? It's the stress of life, and it's the daily struggle. But handing my book to you is just like I could just get on with the rest of my life and keep working on producing more, because I'm good at writing. I'm not good at the rest of the stuff, and I don't want to. I don't want to learn. I mean, I could learn, but it's not something that brings me joy. So, and you do such an amazing job. Why should I? Why should I
learn? Thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit about the technical aspects of it. Sorry, we do have. Oh, someone says you're such a kind soul. It's true. Okay, I'm not sure of your question, Herman. The other stuff is still the main deterrent, though. What's the mindset for that? Can you break down the stages or steps, please? I don't know if I understand the question. If you could rephrase that in a different way, that would be great. Unless you get that, Nadia.
Okay, are you talking about just like the stuff around life and things that go on in your life? I think when we, is this talking about life as in general? I think that's what he's talking about.
If you could ask us in another way, we do want to help you. So yeah, if you could ask in another way, that would be great. So let's talk about the sort of technical aspects then of publishing a book for those who have no idea. What was your most enjoyable step? So we've obviously got the editing, which is, the marking of the book, should we say? But yeah, it's the editing stage of the book. What, are things in the right place? Do we need to look at the flow? Do we need to sort of change paragraphs around? Is it flowing right? The typesetting, which is all the interior design, obviously the cover design. What was your do you have a favorite stage?
Well, I love that I had a say in the whole thing. Like I could just put my views across and say, because at one point I felt, oh, hang on, this doesn't sound like me, and so I was like, no, I have to get this. I was a bit uncomfortable at one point. I thought when I was sort of looking at some of the editing, I thought, so I sort of came to you and said, I feel that I'm you know, I'm losing a little bit. So you just came straight in, changed it around, and I was able to just, so I didn't have to feel scared or worried about what you would say. I know that I could just open my heart and say to you what I was feeling and what was the difficulties that I was experiencing, and you just took it and turned it around and made it all beautiful. So I think for me, the fact that I could turn to you in every stage and every aspect of, you know, producing the book, and have my hand in that to say no, yes, no, yes, no. I love that, or I don't love that, and that was really, really good for me. To know that I've had that amount of control without having to do it all myself, if that makes sense. But also
I get that.
to trust you enough to you know, because I know that whatever you say, you know, to find that compromise to make it the best it can be, the book to be the best it can be. But for me, yeah, the beautiful part is having it all, you know, like the typesetting and just looking so beautiful, and I just love that. And when
I'm a geeky like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when you come in like, yes, I love the interior design, and then I go back and tell the typesetter, and she's like, yeah. For me, I just love just seeing it come to life and seeing the authors receive their book and it matching their vision. So every time you've published a book, you know, I do enjoy the whole cover stage as well. For the most part, just seeing it all come together, because I think every single book is a part of the author, is representational of that person's personality, their message, their story, what they want to give to the world, their purpose. And I get really passionate and excited when it's just, you know, it's just the vision is just right. So I do enjoy most of the stages, but I've got to say I do really enjoy the cover and actually seeing that book. And in saying that, Nadia, I just got an email before we went live saying that your book has been shipped to you in Italy. So please do let us know as soon as you get that. I'm very excited. Yay. All right. So Herman is saying, okay, so the other stuff is still the main deterrent though, cover design so everything we were talking about, so the whole publishing process, the whole technical aspect, you know, there's, like I say, I'm not a typesetter. I manage the whole project. I make sure that your vision is, you know, I work directly with the author and I work with the team. So I would never get myself involved in the whole technical aspect of how to save a PDF in the right dimensions and all of that, because like you say, that's not my thing. My job is helping to create the vision and managing the project and doing the things that I know how to do. So Herman's saying, what's the mindset for that? Can you break down the mental stages or steps? I think Nadia might have answered that question.
Just give it to Daniela.
Yeah, I'll give it to my team.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the beauty of working with Conscious Dreams Publishing, is that you can just take all that stuff, that's the other stuff, take all that headache stuff and just hand it over and say, I've done my part. You just take care of my baby.
But it's such an important thing, though. It's the same with my business. You know, at the beginning when I first started out, I was doing everything. You know, I was creating flyers. I don't know how to create flyers. I've learned quite a lot of things now, but you can't do everything. Doing the accounts myself, doing this myself, doing that myself. Outsource. Find people that can do it. Find people who are, you know, experts in their field to do that, like the typesetters. Thank you, Ricky. Great video, he says. Okay, all right. Perfect, lovely. So we've spoken about the publishing process. What is next for Nadia, and how can people connect with you?
Okay, so with the launch of the book, it's on the 28th is when it comes out, and with that launch, if anybody pre-orders their copy, I'm putting them into a Facebook group, and I'm going to be doing I'm going to open a book club, so I'm going to have 10 weekly live Zoom calls.
Ooh.
For whoever pre-orders the book before the release date, and you will get in there. So once a week, I'm going to come on and we can discuss the book. So if anybody's got any personal issues they want to discuss, and so they can apply that book to, you know, and any difficulties or anything they want to go through, we can do that together, and to build a community of people who are taking that same journey, to understand who they are. So that's exciting for me. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm giving that as a gift to my readers that are going to pre-book, because I will run that again as a part of a course in the future. But just I thought I wanted to give something just for, to start off with, to start.
So a free taster with Nadia before you actually start, because what you're offering is really valuable and must, you've got to have that same monetary exchange. But for now, all you need to do is order a copy of the book. Here's a link to the book. If you're in whatever countries, is the UK one. If you're in the US, obviously it's Amazon.com. You can Google it. It's available at so many different retailers. So just to Google the key to a happier me, Nadia Wong, and the book will come up. But here's a direct link to the Amazon version, and I will, if you follow Nadia at Nadia, just give us your handle for the Instagram followers.
Nadia Wong, Happiness Coach.
Nadia Wong, Happiness Coach. Please do follow her on Instagram. I'm sure there's going to be a way in Linktree you can link. I've
actually got a website as well, which is in the bio in Instagram. It's NadiaWongAuthor.com, and you can go in there and you'll see the offer, and you can buy my books through there. You can click straight onto Amazon through there, and you can send me a message with your order number so that I can put you into the live.
Perfect. So that's NadiaWongAuthor.com. Brilliant. So Janessa saying, please put the link in Facebook too. Okay. I will do when we come off this broadcast. I'll put it into Facebook as well. Nadia, it has been an absolute pleasure. I cannot wait for your book to release on the 28th of August. And I can't wait to see the lovely picture of you holding your proof copy. Let's see who gets it first. Please do book your free ticket, people, to the book launch. Thursday, the 16th of September, 7 o'clock till 8:30. It's going to be amazing. I put the link in the comments. If you follow me on social media, which you obviously are because you're watching this, I'm going to be posting about it. Nadia's going to be posting about it. Please do get your copy and come to the launch. Do you have any final words for us, Nadia, before we go? Any words of wisdom?
Just remember that your happiness is in your hands. That whatever's happening in the world outside, it doesn't matter. We can't always change what's going on around us, but we can always connect with who we are on the inside, to love ourselves and to know that we have our happiness within.
Thank you. What a beautiful message to end on. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We will be back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST, where we'll be going live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what's the other one? LinkedIn, all at the same time. So see you next week. And please, I hope to see you at the launch as well on the 16th of September. Have a beautiful evening. It's a bye from me and
bye. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.